Snuggle up with me, if you really want to, on the Coach's Couch. I am so delighted to be here with you today with another Coach's Couch episode of Inspired Coach Podcast. I always enjoy being here with you so much to either answer your questions, and please do keep those coming in. We'd love to have some more. I'd love to be able to answer some questions for you and guide and support you here from the couch if that's something you're feeling called for. And also just to riff with you and share some ideas on things that I think are hopefully helpful and relevant for you as someone who is considering becoming a coach or is already one. And today on the couch, I want to talk to you about relationship building as a coach. Not so much from a client attraction perspective, although we are going to touch on and mention that, but rather why I think it is so important to build other relationships with other coaches, with other business owners, and with other people around you as a coach and a business owner, particularly if you work in your business solo. And I'm going to be really honest with you right from the start and say that in my 2.5 decades now out there coaching in this industry, running my own business, that the quality and depth of the relationships that I have felt and been so blessed to build around me, I absolutely contribute to my success in many ways. Now, I'm not saying it's all of my success, of no one thing is, but the beautiful people that I have surrounded myself with, most of whom are other coaches and definitely other online service-based business owners, have just been extraordinary. And a huge part of the support that I've leaned into, the inspiration they've given me, the times they've been there for me when things have been tough, the collaborations we've done together, the referrals we've given each other, it's just been incredible. And I mentioned that right from the outside of this episode so you know that this is not just kind of a fluffy topic or thing that I'm mentioning because I thought it was just kind of a, nice thing, so to speak, to talk about. But rather, it has the potential to have an extraordinarily positive impact on your life, on your business, and your growth and expansion with those things. And so it matters. Relationships truly, truly do matter as a coach with other coaches and other business owners. And so let's talk firstly about, in more depth, some of the ways that I see this can have an extraordinary impact for you and your coaching work and business, and then also how to go about building some great relationships as well. So, something that's really important for me to mention at the top of diving into this topic is that for you to be able to build successful relationships and even be able to see them as very important in your coaching journey, it's going to require you to have a very particular lens through which you see other coaches and other business owners in your field, industry, niche, both directly and people who may be on the periphery of that. And that lens is you're going to have to really and truly see other people from those areas I've just mentioned, not in any way as competitors. you're going to have to see them as other souls and brilliant, beautiful, potential people walking this path with you, as potentially people that you can be friends with, collaborators with, referrers, I should say, with, and so many other things as well. You can't see other folks through that very black and white, competitive, cutthroat lens for any of this to be able to work for you. And that includes people who are in the same or very, very similar niche to you. And somehow or another be thinking that that means, well, you could never work together or be friends or be supportive of each other because you're supposedly both trying to get the same clients, right? As soon as you start to have that kind of lens and thinking about people in that way, you are going to energetically, and also potentially, if you choose to, physically cut yourself off from being able to engage with people in that way. So that might require a mindset shift from you if it's required. Okay, so something to think about there. The other reason, which I've briefly touched on, that is going to be just so important for you to recognize here, and why relationships as a coach is so important, is because at some point in time, and in fact at many points in time, it is highly likely that you are going to need some kind of support in the journey that you are on. If for no other reason than you just simply want to debrief or talk something out or run something by someone so they can give you an ear, another pair of eyes, another listening heart to move through something, which does not necessarily have to be some huge issue or problem, but just may be that you want another perspective or opinion. And for that to be possible for you, you're going to need to have your own collective of people that you can turn to for that, because I'm here to tell you that there will be nobody else that can understand what it is that you may be traversing or going through if it's related to your coaching and coaching business, like a fellow coach or fellow business owner. You are not necessarily going to get a good perspective or support from a sister or a brother-in-law or a friend 3 times removed that just does not get what it is that you do and what it is that you're trying to achieve. You're going to need the expert, loving eyes, heart, and ears of somebody that truly gets you and understands you because they're walking a same or similar path. From a practical perspective, building relationships as a coach can have infinite impact for you when it comes to things such as very powerful collaborations, getting guests on your podcast, or you being a guest on other podcasts, inviting people in to share their expertise in your group programs, masterminds, introducing you at a workshop. The potential for collaborations and co-engagements are endless. And I certainly know from my perspective that this has been one of the great joys that I have experienced in building my business, and that is not doing things alone and building relationships with other people and working with them in these ways. So satisfying, so heart building, so connection building, and so serving of clients as well, because none of us can expect, or at least I hope we don't expect, I don't, and I hope you don't either, to think that your clients could only ever benefit from learning from you. There could be many, many people in their lives and careers and businesses and parenting and spiritual journeys where they could learn from a lot of different aligned people in your world and area that you choose to be in service to the people that you work with. This is why we have many trainers in the Beautiful You Life Coaching course. It's why we have lots of guest experts and interviews for people to listen to, because I truly believe that we all benefit when we hear from different voices, when we can learn from different people. But for you to bring your clients, those people, you have to have positive relationships with people for that to be possible. And so again, super, super important. Obviously, building relationships, well, I shouldn't necessarily say obviously, actually, because this might not necessarily be obvious to you. And so I'll rephrase that. One of the ways that building relationships with other people can be so beneficial to you as a coach is because it exposes you to new and different audiences. Now, this is not meant to be something that takes place in an extractive way, where you're seeing what you can get, from other people. We're talking about soulful, connecting, relationship building undertakings here of mutual benefit as much as humanly possible, and where you get to give to other people just as much as maybe you're thinking about what they might be able to offer you and your people and your work. And so when you have connections and relationships and are building those with other coaches and are connected to other coaches, wow, is the potential infinite for you there about different audiences that you can get exposed to. And I certainly know that when someone has invited me or built a relationship with me where eventually they've then felt comfortable to make an ask of me to be involved in something that they've been doing, and I have felt a resonant yes, I have gained just as much from that in many circumstances as me giving something to them, such as an interview or being a guest in their program in some way. And one of the primary ways that that's happened is because it has exposed me to new people, their people, that otherwise I might not ever have been exposed to before. And we all know that the more eyes that you can get on your work, the better it is for the growth of your business and client attraction. And so that's again where relationship building can be so powerful. Now, the final thing that I want to share with all of you as to why relationship building can be so powerful and impactful for your business is about how it can showcase you and show you in authentic and genuine ways to your clients and potential clients. Because if it's one thing that I feel very, very certain to share with you all, it's that I truly believe that the right clients for you, future potential clients, will absolutely respond incredibly well when they see you, whether it's through sharing on places like social media or sharing in your newsletter or however it is that you communicate and reach out to people, probably in multiple different ways, that you are connected to others. When your clients and your future potential clients see you doing things such as going to other coaches' workshops and events, they see you being involved in things, they see you collaborating, they see you connected to other relevant people in your world, do not underestimate how client attracting that is. It showcases somebody that is communicating, somebody who is connecting, somebody who is caring and out there expanding themselves in varying different ways. That for a coach who is in the field of human connection absolutely matters and can be very, very, very client attracting. Don't forget that. And so let's switch in to talking about, well, how do you go about building these kinds of relationships? And of course, this pathway for everybody is not necessarily going to be, of course, the same. And I'm just sharing with you a few ideas. You have, and absolutely, the power to empower yourself to go about this in any way that fits and feels best for you. And especially paying attention to how you might previously have done it and had success and repeating that, which just makes total sense. So here are some ideas. Some of them are going to seem really simple, but they might seem simple, but they involve follow through. And we know follow through is not necessarily always that simple or straightforward for lots of different reasons. And no one, including me, is suggesting that you need to do all of these things at once. No, let's not go there. So the first thing is low-hanging fruit in the best and most beautiful possible way. I'm not talking about picking people up from the orchard floor. I'm talking about being on the soulful, genuine lookout for like-minded people in things that you are already doing in your work and in your business, courses that you are involved in and learning from, workshops that you are attending, events that you're going to, where like-minded coaches and other people may be. You know, we always mention at the start of every Beautiful You life coaching course to everyone there, we put the challenge out there and we say, because we have the evidence for it time and time and time again, right here, right now, in this collective of extraordinary people from all over the world could be your new best business friend, your new BBF. And we have seen that be the case with so many people. The ongoing friendships, sisterhood, brotherhood, personhood, connections, collaborations, community, and caring relationships that have developed out of this course and out of this academy blows our heart wide open all the time. We see it. We see people being bridesmaids at each other's weddings. We see ongoing collaborations, joint podcasts birthed together, so many different things of deep, deep personal meaning. And it all comes from people being open right from the very start and thinking, wow, and feeling into them knowing that they're in an experience that is going to be incredible with other incredible people, and being open to what connection comes to them for that from that experience. If you see people not necessarily directly in an experience like you're having, like a course, or where you might be able to go, hey, it's great to meet you and be studying alongside of you or a part of this, or you get a chance to say hello to them at an event, but there's just someone you really love and admire and are starting to really feel into their work, and you're thinking, wow, they're doing great things in a similar area to me, or I just really love them as a coach. Please make sure that you're following them and supporting them on things like social media and are subscribed to their newsletters. This is a basic level of relationship building that is required if you don't actually know someone in an more direct way, but you're possibly looking to build a relationship with them. Take your time as well and build connections with such people slowly and genuinely and reverently. Don't be that person who is cold DMing or emailing someone with an ask. You know, it really is extraordinary to me. And I've got to probably stop saying that and it feeling like it's some kind of surprise, because really it's not anymore, because it happens so often, far too often. I will have people email me and want to do something together, and they will often say something flattering or trying to be flattering, like, I'm such a fan of your work. And yet, I can see that they're not a subscriber to my newsletter. They do not follow me on social media, even though I've then looked them up and seen that they've had a social presence. And so that's a lie. It's an outright lie. You can't say that you're such a fan of someone's work if you're not actually following what they're doing. Like, goodness gracious me. Let's not do that. Let's not be that person. Okay? If you want to build genuine connecting relationships with people, then you have to not lie, for starters, and you have to do that in genuine ways by following and supporting somebody. You can't by commenting on them, by sharing their work if it has meaning for you, or just engaging with them in whatever way feels meaningful to you. But that's the core word here, meaningful. Because if you approach people like that, you can expect to be ignored or just shown a hand and told directly no, because I'm not going to work with people like that. I'm not interested in building a relationship with somebody that thinks that's the way you go about building relationships. So you've got to be a genuine part of someone's world and work and connect over time. And here's the final thing that is just really, really important to mention, because I know that these things can hurt our hearts and they can sometimes stop us in our tracks from continuing to build relationships, or even starting out in this field if we've had other fields we've been involved in and other experiences that have not been super wonderful for us. And that is that you must understand that every connection that you may try to build with someone or reach out in even meaningful and soulful ways might not eventuate in something. And you have to trust in that and let it and let them go, and really, really surrender into the trust and belief that that's for a reason, and that it's making room for just simply there to be other new and right people to come towards you. I've reached out to people before in meaningful and genuine ways, looking for a deeper connection, and not received a response. And I don't know why that is. I can, if I want to, make lots of egoic assumptions about that and have that mean something about me. But I choose not to. I just choose to believe in the sovereignty of that person, and that for whatever reason, they did not think that either I or the connection that I was trying to make, or both, was right for them. And I have had people reach out to me before too, some of which, when they've approached me in that terrible way I mentioned before, I have ignored, and others of them I have said a kind but firm no thank you. And so, you can't assume that every attempt, or even believe that every attempt that you may make to relationship build with someone else as a fellow coach or someone aligned in your field is going to eventuate in something. It won't. Okay? It just won't. And you have to know that that's okay. And is the case for everyone, and it doesn't say anything necessarily, of course, about you. So I hope this episode from the couch has inspired you to think about the importance of building relationships as a coach and also how you might be able to go about them. As I said at the very top of our episode and time here on the couch today, for me, they have made an extraordinary difference in the most positive, beautiful, and aligned ways. And I know that if they have done that for me, for the right people, they can do that for you too.